I'm reminded, listening to Sinead, of a statement by Oscar Wilde many years ago when somebody introduced him in a meeting in the United States. He was speaking to miners. They said after the introduction, he said, you know, after listening to all that, I can't wait to hear what I have to say. And after all the speeches I've heard from here, in all truth, I don't have a lot more to say. I do sort of endorse everybody who said that we have to keep on fighting, and we have to keep on fighting in large numbers. When we talk about the past, when we look about what was good and what was bad, what advances we made, and what times that we had to retreat, when we think about it all, it seems to me, looking back, that everything good that's ever been achieved here has come from below. It was always when the mass of the people came out and demanded things, and marched and sat in and occupied and picketed and all the rest of it. It was never that anybody gave us things from on high. Nobody ever handed the working class at Derry or anywhere else. Nobody ever handed us anything. Everything was fought for. The mass civil rights movement made more advance in this city and in this part of the world than any parliamentary action or any armed struggle or any minority-based campaign. It was always the mass of the people who did it. Had Kira mentioned, it was a couple of minutes ago, you know, that people feel isolated sometimes. People get depressed. They get depressed because they are on their own or almost on their own. Where you get optimism, where you get the fuel for fire in the future, where you get that is from one another. I can remember, you know, I remember too much and far too long, I sometimes think. When I look back over most of a lifetime, and I can remember most small crowds gathered here in the Guildhall, you know, and we shouted and roared and put forward slogans. We never achieved anything until October the 5th, 1968, when we all came together and we just struck a chord. When we said, as Mick Lynch said at the RMT Union a couple of weeks ago, he said, enough is enough. He said, there comes a time when the world turns, and this is the time for turning. I think we all feel like that, and we're not alone in feeling like that. And it's talking in Derry, here in the north, in Ireland or anywhere else, when we talk about the need for ordinary people to get together and to press forward for reforms and to make life more decent for the mass of our people. Let us remember that we're involved in something not which is small, but which is global. We're part of something huge happening all over the world. Because depressing and all, frustrating and all as it is, to look at what's happening on the television news, the fact of the matter is that everywhere we see repression, we see resistance. We see people fighting back. We are part of that. We are not simply here advocating and campaigning for Derry or for the North alone. When you look around at Kieran was saying and Sinead was saying, you know, how ill-divided our society is. That's true of the whole world as well. We have people sort of living on the edge of extinction, at the mercy of fire and flood and ice and drought, while alongside them we have people who are rich beyond the dreams of avarice of any previous generation. This is a grotesque situation in a world which has a greater productive capacity than ever before in human history. We have more wealth than ever before, but it's more ill-divided than ever before. And that will continue to be the situation until people say, enough is enough, we're not having it anymore. One great socialist said many years ago, and I apologise. No, I don't apologise. I was going to say I apologise for the language. An old friend of mine, Tony Cliff, once said, you know, he said, people might be depressed. You might look around them and say, well, there's no fight in the masses of people. So always keep in mind that sooner or later, there's a fucking moment. The fucking moment happens when people say, on mark, we've had enough. Why don't we go on strike? There's nothing left for it. We've got to take action. And when we look for inspiration, we look to all the strikes. The Guardian newspaper had a full-page article a few days ago. I was concerned looking around at all the strikes looking at the public service, looking at the fire service, looking at several unions like Unite, looking even at the NUJ, my own union, which has just won a significant victory against the Moore Group owners to give our people sort of a decent wage rise in line with inflation. Everywhere you look, there's resistance. Everywhere you look, there's a little bit of fire happening. And when you see a spark of resistance, the thing you have to do is blow on it. Change it into a fire. Never stamp on it. As sometimes bosses and politicians try to do and say, well, leave it to us, leave it to us. We should never leave it to them. But making social advance, making revolution is a do-it-yourself activity. Nobody can do it for you. And what we have got to do is to bring together all those who are willing to put up a fight. All those who realise that if we want to change the situation dramatically in support of working class people and the ordinary mass of people generally, if we are going to do that, don't look to people we elect, don't look to people who offer to free us at the point of a gun. Look to yourselves and say the type of society that we are trying to build, a society which will be for everybody because it will have been created by everybody. Thanks very much.